Welcome to Community Forum. My name is John Guglieltino, and I'm your host. This week we've got a changing gears to another subject matter, the United Way of Fairfield, actually it's United Way of Western Connecticut, right? We're going to be talking about an interesting new program that was highlighted in a group that I recently attended, and Monet Burion is the Imagination Library Coordinator. That's the topic that we have, and I hope you'll be very much educated on a very good program that we should all be promoting in our communities. So I want to welcome you to the show. Tell us a little bit about your background and education as to how you got your current position.
Sure, absolutely. I actually grew up in the Midwest.
Midwest?
Midwest.
Okay.
Yes, Midwest girl. I got my Bachelor's of Science at Northern Michigan University in psychology, and I went down to Chicago for a master's degree in organizational psychology. So I've got a big interest in how things work and systems. Yeah.
So you're constantly analyzing people. And your favorite movie is probably Analyze This, right? Okay, enough of that. And how did you come to the United Way in Danbury, Connecticut from the Midwest?
Right,
okay.
From Chicago.
Okay.
So I moved here with my family 5 years ago to Danbury, actually while I was expecting my son, who's almost 5. And so I took some time off from psychology and raised my son, which was terrific. And I started volunteering with a local early education collaborative in Danbury called Danbury's Promise for Children Partnership.
Okay.
They were looking for parents of young children who could help speak to, if Danbury has the right resources and programs for families, and what, if any, of these I had used. So I got a terrific education of how a collaborative works. Got to meet representatives from the school, from the mayor's office, from the local agencies here in Danbury that support young children. And it was a terrific education in how a city like Danbury takes care of the young children. And from there, I learned about the Imagination Library program. Okay,
so then you went and said, hey, I like to do that full time. And you went to the United Way, and the United Way was, hey, you've got an award-winning personality. Here's the job. So tell us what is involved with this Imagination Library, the value of early education. There are a lot of things that have been out in the media that I have read, and seen, but maybe the typical person out there has not been exposed. They're thinking, well, you go to the kindergarten, and that's when school starts, and before that, it's just playing with toys, and you don't do that. And a lot of parents come home from work and don't maybe spend the time that they should be spending, or what. So tell us a little bit about how that all works.
Absolutely. United Way has 3 main focuses on areas that we work to make sure every household is healthy and strong, is financially stable, and every child enters school ready to learn. So under the tenet of education falls the Imagination Library program. United Way in general is just such a large, wonderful organization. We serve 14 towns in northern Fairfield County, southern Litchfield County, and the city of Stamford. So we cover a very large area, and we help about 75,000 people every year with these programs that help each home, in each community. No agency alone can tackle those tough problems that society faces today. So with collaboration, we can really bring together the resources to solve the complex community problems that no one agency can solve alone. One of those problems being education. Like you said, doesn't school start in kindergarten? And what do parents need to do today to help their child learn? So the value, really research has shown that the years before kindergarten are critical, the most critical.
Is to how they learn, right?
To how they learn, to influence learning.
They'll absorb the education to come a lot faster if they get some basic training before they even go to school. That's the general concept I read and saw somewhere.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. A baby's brain is just incredible. In the first few years of life alone, trillions of connections are formed that help them read, think, communicate later on in school. So in these few years...
What's the statistics on that? Can you say just how much of a difference
Sure.
if let's say a child is, and we have a stack of books here, we're going to try to show the audience some of them, but if a parent reads to the child and interacts with the child, let's say at age 3, how much of a statistical advantage does that child have as to someone that doesn't do anything with their kid and the first day in kindergarten is the first day they're trying to read,
Right.
or whatever,
Right, absolutely. Definitely in the first few years of life, the brain grows as fast as it will ever grow again. So literally, in even just space of a few minutes, thousands of new connections are formed in a child's brain. And what we know about research is that it's best for the child's brain when they have a human connection. So human connection is really central to learning. So what better way to help your child learn than to sit down with a book, per se? So the book is kind of the object that helps make this interaction. You're talking about things in the book, making predictions, looking at colors, numbers. You have all those foundation for learning a child can do with a parent in just a few minutes. So interesting you say by age 3, there's something in this country called a word gap, which means that children from families of lower income have heard about 30 million less words by age 3 than one of their more affluent peers. 30 million words, that's huge. And that word gap literally translates to a gap later in kindergarten, learning to read.
Okay, that's the achievement gap.
That's actually just a learning gap.
Oh, learning gap, okay.
The achievement
All
gap
right.
is very interesting. That's something that they start to test and look at in school.
But that leads to the achievement gap. In other words, if you got this gap of knowledge that you didn't go to plays or you didn't engage in certain activities, maybe no fault of their own, the parents are working all kinds of hours or whatever. If they don't have that, they're going to be behind their fellow students.
Yes.
And that will lead to a gap, and that gap could increase as time goes by unless they catch up or never have to catch up by way of your program, right?
Absolutely.
This will give them a little bit more of a, they'll be a little more even in their start.
Yes, this program definitely helps to even the playing field. So a child, no matter what their background was, can come to school with the skills they need to succeed. And what the research shows is that children who start behind stay behind. One researcher said you can tell by age 5 with depressing accuracy which children in kindergarten will graduate from high school and those who will not. That's a big problem.
That is. So we touched base on the achievement gap and the history. Now, I didn't know this, but Dolly Parton is the one that gave the original funding, or she does the bulk of the funding, and then you have certain offsets from the general public, maybe a certain low fee from people to help. So give us a little bit of the history and the program facts.
Sure.
All right.
So Dolly Parton started the Imagination Library in her home state of Tennessee. She was thinking 2 very basic questions. Imagine if a child received a book in the mail every month in the first 5 years of his or her life. And imagine if this collection of books were free, absolutely free to the children and their families. So that's the basis for her Imagination Library. She started it in her home state of Tennessee in the 90s. And by 1999, she realized what a huge difference this was making for young children in Tennessee. So she allowed communities like ours to replicate the program in their own community and have each community host their own kind of offshoot or affiliate of the Imagination Library.
Okay, so she's not really funding it then. She's the originator of the idea.
Yes, it was her big idea, and she started the Dollywood Foundation, which they choose the book selections. They work with Penguin to negotiate the book cost, and all the books are actually mailed right from Tennessee. So her foundation volunteers all of their time and resources, all the IT, all the background, the behind-the-scenes work to make sure this program can be rolled out to any community that chooses to be a part of it.
And who could participate? Does it have to be a certain income?
So this particular program is for children under the age of 5. So starting at birth, a parent or caregiver can enroll their child in Imagination Library, and they will receive a book in the mail every single month until they turn 5. And here in Western Connecticut, we were very, very lucky. In 2008, Danbury received a wonderful anonymous donor to help increase early childhood programming in Danbury. So we got started 6 years ago, and Danbury just celebrated their 100,000th book this March. Very exciting,
wow.
Very exciting. And in a few short years, we very quickly attracted the attention of other communities. So a parent's able to enroll their child if they live in one of 10 areas here in Western Connecticut.
So there's 169 towns in the state of Connecticut.
There are.
And the good news is you know, from your start, you're at X number of towns. Mm-hmm. The bad news is you got to get the other towns involved, or at least
right.
in this part of the United Way,
Very
which you're
true.
connected, right?
Very true. Of the 169 towns in Connecticut, you can only enroll in this program if you live in one of 12.
The 12 and roughly in this area, right?
In this area. Internationally, the program actually serves 4 countries. Serves 2 million children worldwide, and up to date we've mailed 60 million books worldwide. So this is a program that has captured the hearts and the attention of a lot of different areas. Here at Western Connecticut, we're very happy that we've been in these 10 towns. We do have 5 additional towns we'd be more than willing to help set up if we can get, each town needs a champion to help fund it and help get this to their children. So with the champion, any of the 15 towns in our area can continue to have this program.
Would it be fair if we mentioned the towns where you're trying to start it up, or you don't want to be?
Absolutely. If you happen to live in Brookfield, Ridgefield, Reading, Roxbury, or Sherman, please call. And I'm more than happy to help you get started, help you find a champion in your community. So it truly is a gift to every child that lives in your community.
Now, what is your number over at United Way?
Sure, you can reach me at 203-297-6042.
Okay, and then the email or the website?
Sure, our website has a lot of great information on that, and that is
Slowly, because a lot of people write slowly.
Grab your pen. Grab your pen at home.
Okay.
So it's www.uwwesternct.org, and then if you want to / Imagination Library, you'll get right to our page. You can learn about the 10 towns that are currently enrolled, and reach out to me if you live in one of the other 5, and we can help you get started.
Okay, very good. Now, what are some of the features? Maybe you can start picking. You've got one of the books already in your lap there. This is like the first book?
This is the first book that everyone gets.
The Little Engine That Could.
The Little Engine That Could.
Okay.
All the books have recurring themes of inspiration, motivation, imagination, of course. So every child who signs up, no matter their age, this is their first welcome book. And children can sign up in a variety of ways. We're at Danbury Hospital. Every new mom finds out about this program. Maybe in your local library or your preschool. We try to find every way possible to find these children. And you can enroll by using the website or by going to your local library and filling out an application form there. So everyone gets The Little Engine That Could, which is the very first book. And inside you've got a little letter from Dolly, kind of explaining the program, let them know what they're in store for. And if you have a baby, if you're signing up a newborn, you're going to amass a 60-volume collection of books before your child's 5th birthday.
Interesting.
The second...
Baby Sounds.
Yes, this is Baby Sounds. And the second year, these are all babies under 1 year old. So it's all about big, bright, colorful books. They're all board books with the board pages, easy for baby to hold. rhyme, rhythm. Books are simple, they're playful, a little lullaby, nurturing themes. Guaranteed to get their attention just for those few minutes. We know they're little, but a few minutes every day, you can really build on that. Some other books in the first year collection, Where's My Nose? Or My First Songs.
Okay.
Very simple. And the second year of books are
Corduroy.
Still hardcover books. So these are very durable. These are fine. Let baby hold them and play them. These are all about, this is Corduroy, wonderful classic. Colors, letters, numbers, parts of the body. The repetition and predictability of language, something children enjoy. Daily life activities, nursery rhymes, things like that. Do you remember Corduroy with your children? No?
I used to wear corduroys. That's what I was laughing about.
So we've got just beautiful books. My Kind of Mommy by Marjorie Blaine Parker. She's a wonderful author. A lot of people remember Red Wagon. So these are just wonderful, playful tales. As they get a little bit older, the focus of the book changes. This is Little Owl's Night.
Is this in the second year? Second year.
This is now the third year
third
for
year, okay.
2-year-olds. And what this changes is the books become lighter, still very, very durable. But in the back of each book is now these literacy activities. So a parent can flip to the back of the book and find some activities and questions to ask your child before the story, during the story, after the story, learning on the go. These are small, easy books you can tuck into your bag and take with you to the doctor's office, or you're waiting in line somewhere, to grandma's house, so that you always have a rich supply of books. So in this third year, you've got more build your own narratives, values, character, issues of fear, conflict.
And one of the benefits of the parent doing this with the child is that instead of just at school, the teacher, interaction with the teacher, now the parent is also involved.
The parent is involved from day one, and a parent is the child's most important first teacher. And a lot of parents, especially parents from not native of this country, don't realize that they're supposed to read, that it's encouraging to read every day. So, in the time it takes to read a bedtime story like Little Owl's Night, like I said, thousands of new connections are created in a child's brain that just do wonders for their development. Yet, sadly, most children in this country won't be read a bedtime story tonight. About 48% of children at or below the poverty level are read to every day, compared to about 64% of families at or above the poverty level. So low-income families are very have barriers to book ownership. The average book in this country actually costs $18. That's just well beyond the
It's almost like they
focus.
fix them at that, but you can say that's the fixed cost of the book, hardcover and what have you.
Right.
But it's almost like they don't, they don't try to get it a little lower. But the deal here is a little better of a deal because of there's like a subsidy involved, right?
Absolutely.
Can you say what? No, we can't say because I almost forgot Comcast rule. We can't say numbers, but it's an inexpensive number.
Very inexpensive, a drastically reduced price. So, so the dollars
Sorry,
invested.
Comcast rules. We can't say numbers.
The dollars invested in this program, you would be amazed how fast how far a few dollars can go. So the whole idea of Imagination Library is you build this home library of books starting from birth that follow and track your child as they grow. So each book kind of builds on the one previous, and it helps build on those critical pre-literacy skills that children really need at this point. So they keep growing, keep building, and it keeps attracting the child's interest. One very, very favorite in the 2-year-old group is Llama Llama, Red Pajama, a terrific author. And
I know I missed that one.
young parents know these books. It's a terrific storyline. So the books keep going and they keep changing. One parent said to me, I always knew that reading to my child was important, but when people gave me books when I was, when my child was little, they were either too easy or too hard, and they were never where they were supposed to be. And she said, once we started getting these books, it was instantaneous. My child was excited, I was excited, and all of a sudden reading was fun. And she said, if it wasn't for this program, I never would have gotten on the right track to find out what books would stimulate my child at the right time.
Interesting.
So we keep going. A lot of just terrific stories, a lot of classics. These aren't SpongeBob books. These are classic children's literature or soon-to-be classics. So they keep going.
The
all
Old
the
Bear
way.
and His Cub.
Yeah, Old Bear and His Cub. This was one of my son's favorites. I don't know how they do it, but the books seem to always touch on what you're going through with a young child at this time.
I'm trying to figure out how the old bear got a cub. Okay, never mind.
Families come in all shapes and sizes, John.
Okay.
And it's all about the love. And with these books, it's so much easier to sit down with your child and get in those few minutes every day. Help raise avid and skilled readers by just reading aloud daily from birth. It's such a simple, easy prospect. And research shows that it really is the best way to prepare your child for school. In this era of testing reform and high-stakes education, it really comes down to the most simple parenting techniques of just reading to your child daily.
It's like decentralizing things. You don't do it all in school. Have your parents get re-involved, and there's a closer bond going on at home, which leads to better education.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is that the drift? Yeah.
It is. That's the same idea. So a lot of preschools actually love to get these books because they'll start their curriculum saying, "Who got Read to Tiger this morning?" or this month at school, and at least half the kids will raise their hand and say, "I did." So teachers are really embracing these books in the classroom to help that homeschool connection. This particular book is the last one that everyone gets. It's Look Out Kindergarten, Here I Come.
Okay, so when you're done with all of these, you're ready to go to kindergarten.
You are ready. So actually a lot of kindergarten teachers...
You'll be an A student in kindergarten.
Or just know the basics, know how to hold a book. Know the parts of a book. Book sense is not actually a skill that every child knows. So a lot of kindergarten teachers will have kids raise their hand the first day of school to say, "Who got this book?" So obviously on the first day of school, there's so many children that have a shared experience to say, "I did, I did." So again, we're talking about leveling the playing field and making all children feel comfortable, excited, and confident for school. And this program with this shared collection of books is definitely one of the best ways.
Now, what are the program needs? We've got, I sort of want to, we're down about 5 minutes.
5 more minutes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, we have some outcomes I think you wanted to quickly throw, or maybe we already did because we're sort of doing it out of step. That you got a 30% advantage if you go through this as opposed to just going kindergarten at age 5 on average.
Right.
So what are some of your needs aside from the towns? Are there are you lower than you want in participation? What are your numbers as people that are participating?
Very good question. So right now in our 10 towns, the towns kind of vary between 25 and 55%. They've enrolled their eligible children. So in Danbury, for instance, there's a little over 5,000 children eligible, and we enroll 2,000. So that's a good number, but there are still hundreds or even thousands.
You like to be at 80%, not 40%.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
This program is free, and it's available to every child in an eligible neighborhood, regardless of their family's socioeconomic status. So there are no income verifications, there's no questions to be answered. All you need to do is have a child under 5, want to read with your child, and these books are yours to your door for free. So we would love the community's help in awareness. Please invite me to your next community group.
Functions.
If you have a Lions Club, a Rotary Club, a Women's Club, a Newcomers Club.
You didn't mention Kiwanis because you came to the Kiwanis.
I did come to Kiwanis.
Right, so you want to get out there and you want to talk to the program, and
Yes.
you like the leaders of these groups to get a hold of you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And this is a direct program. So when you give to the United Way, you help, but you can give even more with a direct donation and help support and sponsor a child or 2 or 10 in your town.
Let's do the website thing one more time. The
Sure.
website and the telephone number.
So for more information or to get involved and bring more awareness to your town or to help sponsor a child in our area, you can call me directly at 203-297 6042. Or for a lot of information, visit our website, which is www.uwwesternct.org/imagination library.
Okay, I think that even some of the slower people must have gotten it by now. Okay, and the imagination, the library supports. This will make the future of the area much better if this program goes from 40% to 80% participation, and you do get those other towns that you're aiming to get involved. Right?
Absolutely. The program works. The state of Tennessee does numerous impact studies, and they found that children who participate in this program do better on kindergarten readiness scores than children who have not. Here in our own area, we do surveys every year to parents, and we find that the great majority read more often to their children after being enrolled in this program than before. About 77% of parents in our program read every day to their children. 95% read at least 3 times a week. So this program works. The families are excited. The children just grow up loving to read. You're nurturing that skilled and avid readers, and it works. So we deliver more than just books. We help support every young family with this wonderful program. And
one more time,
Sure.
your website and your telephone number, because they're giving me the high sign. We're running
The high
low,
sign, sure.
Getting low on time.
Okay, so you can reach me at 203-297-6042 or visit our website, www.uwwesternct.org.
And I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
me.
And I want to
Appreciate
thank the
it.
viewers for tuning in the community forum. Tune in next week, same time, same station, and we'll have another interesting program. Good night for now. See you then.